Well, if it's wrong to go left and wrong to go right, what is the best solution? Greetings from Rakvere. Apparently that's how you pronounce it. I've been calling it Rakvere. Anyway, however you say it, I've arrived. Want to take a look at the train station? It's a fairly low-key affair, and I'm not sure if you try to enter the train station you'll get very far, because it seems to have been turned into a second-hand shop, second-hand clothing and such like. Why on earth did I think it was a good idea to come to Rakvere? What was I thinking? Oh yeah, now I remember. There are a few good reasons to come to Rakvere, which will become apparent shortly. Hopefully. Funny thing is, you know, I'm tempted to look in that second-hand clothing store, which is absolute madness. Not least because it's probably not open until 10 or 11. You know how things go here in Estonia. Oh, Rakvere is in Estonia, by the way. 10 till 3 on a Saturday, closed Sunday. And I love looking in little odd, quirky places like this, because you just never know what you might find. That's a real second-hand place and I want to look in it, but unfortunately I can't because I have other things to do. But maybe, just maybe, I will return here in time after I've seen all the exciting highlights of the town, and then I might find some treasures back in that second-hand shop. You never know. Okay. From memory of looking at Google Maps, straight down here and then turn right on Tallinn Street. Let's hope that Google Maps won't let me down. We've come to the end of Cutie, which is a cute little street, as the name suggests, from the train station, bringing us down to Tallinn, which is perfect. Just wanted to get a bit of a closer look at this nice old bar. And just to confirm, Tallinn Street sign. What a cute old building this is. Old-fashioned wooden benches inside, but all locked up. My fault, I suppose. I should have known. Got up early, walked the short distance from the hostel to the train station in Tallinn, and actually got there a little bit too early, but perhaps just as well I did. There were already several people waiting on the platform 4 for the train from Tallinn to Narva at 7:55. And I thought it was a bit curious. Then I realised these are the smart locals, because once the train arrived, there was quite a rush to get seats. The seats weren't allocated. I bought my ticket online, basically just standard class, €5, something or other. A saving of a euro or two compared to if I'd bought the ticket either at the train station or from the little machine actually inside the train. Nice to have options, but the cheapest one was buying it online, and the hostel just kindly printed out the paperwork. So yeah, saved a little bit of cash. I had a ticket, no allocated seat, which is fine. Rakvere is only an hour and 20 minutes from Tallinn, so standing wouldn't have been a problem. I don't mind getting up and walking around a bit on a train. It's just a little bit difficult when the train seems to be so small and basically one wagon, really. Quite a few people did get on, not only in Tallinn, as you would expect, but also at some of the little stops on the way to Rakvere, and of course people were alighting as well. But yeah, there were half a dozen stops, and there was still the odd seat or two in the train, but several people were just content to stand because I guess they were the commuters who were used to the routine. And like I say, I like to get up a little bit because it's more comfortable if I can get up and stretch and take a walk. Elron.ee is the website, and Elron's the state railway company, I guess. I don't know if it's privatised or if it's been nationalised. But Elron, ELRON.ee, perfect place to get all your train tickets. Oh, there's an Orthodox church coming up, which I wasn't expecting. But I think we've got a couple of museums coming up shortly, and also a small supermarket. But that depends on a few basic things, like me having turned the right way and remembered the information from Google Maps in my head correctly. Okay, let's see how we progress. And just on the left-hand side, opposite Nero's Barber, there is this interesting place which is just called, perhaps it's just called, ROCKIN Rakvere. No stupid people. That's a warning for you. Rakvere has been famous for its Green Christmas rock festival, which takes place at the castle. Yes, there's a castle. Now you know what I'm doing here. Clunky old zoom, but it's a cheapo camera because I'm a cheap kind of guy. Yes, the Green Christmas Rock Festival. Might as well talk about it a little bit, as we've just passed the Rock Pub in Rakvere. It was a very well attended summer festival, of course, for rock fans in this part of the Baltics. Sadly, I think it took a bit of a hit, like all festivals did, because of COVID. And whether it's going to come back again, hopefully summer 2023, 2024, and every summer afterwards, we'll see a Green Christmas Rock Festival here in Rakvere. It'd been going for, a good 20, 25 years, I think. Rakvere initially hosted the first punk festival, believe it or not, back in the 90s. So that must have been quite a wild time. And in 2022, for some reason, don't know why, but there was a bit of a mood swing, and there was a funk music festival here in Rakvere. Nice looking church there. That's a Brucey bonus for me. But I am still wondering if I'm walking in the right direction, to be honest, because I haven't seen a Maxima supermarket and I haven't seen any of the museums I was thinking were popping up at any moment. Well, all I can do is keep walking at this stage. And if pink's your colour, here we have Viru Markohus, which looks like a government building, doesn't it? Especially with that Estonian flag proudly flying outside the front door. It's not telling me a great deal of information, but I'm thinking this could be the main street going down to the central square. So based on that theory, I see a sign, and it's a sign for Maxima Supermarket. I just caught the end of the word Maxima. Oh, that's good news. I am on the right path after all. I don't like trusting my brain too much. It does let me down from time to time. Can't store information from maps very accurately. Supermarket, that's good. Nothing at the train station, as you may have noticed. So if you have come here early morning, didn't pick anything up from a Circle K or an R or R kiosk, little fast food place, and you were peckish, it seems that, this Maxima Supermarket's the first place I found which is open, coming from the train station to the centre of town. So that would be ideal. Luckily I've come prepared. I might still pop in for something extra a little bit later, but we'll see. Now we've got a couple of museums coming up, I think. The road sign's not working. Thank you. I think these buildings on the right must be the two museums. Crikey. I've seen some knockers in my time, but not one looking like that. It's the symbol of the town. No, it can't be, can it? Because I think the symbol of the town is the aurochs, and this looks more like a sheep-goat thing. So I take that back. It's not the symbol of the town, but here's the Virma Pubi, the horned sheep pub of the town. And just up here, two museums. One of them is called the Citizens Museum. People's Museum, I guess, might translate a little bit more easily for someone like me, because Citizens Museum sounds a little bit like we're living in a dystopian future. It's probably more like a dystopian past when it got its title. If you don't fancy going into the Citizens Museum, but you do want to go into a museum, then there's also the Police Museum. Entrance right there. Useful to know you've got a couple of museums next to each other. Sometimes going into a quirky odd place like a police museum, who knows, you might just find something a little bit wacky and off the wall that you wouldn't have expected. And if it had been raining, then why not? But not for me today. Here's Pick. And I think Pick was, and still is, the main street from the pretty touristic point of view. I'm sure it's a lovely street to wander down if you're a local as well. And it's sort of, I think, the main business street which built up alongside the castle. I wonder which is the best way to the castle. I want to go down Pick Street, but I had it in my head that walking along here there were also some other interesting things. I think there's supposed to be the old manor and a theatre as well, but I'm not too sure, because it may well be that the theatre and the manor are in the same building. Not entirely sure. wasn't clear to me on the map that I saw of Rakvere. There's a model of a human skull in the park. Bit random, eh? And over here we have the top half of a man. Somebody famous. I'm going to pop over here because I see something which could be useful. Signs. Oh, God, I didn't set this up, honestly. But it looks as though I did set it up. Here is Rakvere's theatre. And we're very close to the old manor house. But what I was looking for, what drew me over the road, was I just caught sight in the distance of this collection of signs on this pole, just pointing out where places are. And I thought, oh, this will tell me if I've taken the wrong road and I need to go elsewhere for the theatre and manor house. So we've got up there. The Church of the Birth of Virgin Mary was the attractive church we walked past first of all. Then museum, water park and hotel, and city centre. That would have been going down that first street with the pink building. Not Pick Street, but the first street, I think. Oh, very close by. The castle, the Valime Song Stage, Art Gallery, and Oak Grove. Right. We'll go over there shortly to see some of, if not all of those things. First stop, though, I'm drawn to these two characters outside of the theatre. Surprising to see the theatre open in the morning. That perhaps people are getting in early to do some practice for a performance later this evening. Here are two characters. And I'm not seeing any information on display about them. Which means, like a lot of art, you can make of it what you will. Funny little curiosity. Now, where's the manor house? I didn't see a sign for the manor house, so maybe it's not as significant as it used to be. Perhaps it was this building. I know on the map it was very close to the theatre, as I mentioned. It can't be this building because it's far too modern. No harm in taking a look round. Got some time on our hands. There's a platform here which is luring me in. There better be something good over the other side of this platform. The way it's situated, it seems as though there definitely must be something good. That may or may not be the manor house. It's all locked up anyway. Rakvere Peam something. Something to do with milk. And over here, I was lured in and I hoped to see something more spectacular. Greedy me. Some tennis courts. And nice parkland. Nothing wrong with that. Well, this is an unexpected viewpoint. I've just come away from where the theatre is, headed towards that government-looking building with the big flag on the roof, and it hit me squarely between the eyes. Rakvere's symbolic aurochs, big statue over to the left, which we'll get a close-up of a little bit later, and over to the right, the castle ruins. And I wonder if I can get a picture of my ugly mug in amongst that. probably not very well, but what we need to do now is get a bit closer. Of course, it doesn't work especially well if you've got a big silly hat on your head, because that takes up most of the field of vision. So this is attempt number 2 without the silly hat on my head. Maybe somewhere in there is a good shot. Gosh, this early morning sun is really posing a problem. It seems to be directly in every shot I try to take at the moment. But here I come to the statue we saw from a distance just now. The top half is on show, the lower half is encased in a block of concrete. Viru Laulik Fr. Kreutzwald. Now, this is a famous man, and I only know he's a famous man because of 2 things. One, here is a statue with his name on it and his image. The other thing is, there's a road here called Fr. Kreutzwald, and there's also a road in several other cities in Estonia, including Tallinn, of course, bearing his name. These roads bearing his name are strong indicators that he's somebody famous who did something. So what I'll have to do is, when I get back to the ranch, do what you do when you finished looking at this video, head over to Wikipedia and take a look for Fr. Kreutzwald to discover more about who the character is, or was, I should say. His memory lives on, but we don't know why. Just to the side of his statue, there's a path which seems to be the most likely way to get up to the top of Castle Hill, we can call it, and Aurochs Statue Hill. The aurochs statue's only been here, about 20 years or so. It was to mark the 750th anniversary of the town, not city. But yes, you could be forgiven for missing the aurochs statue when you walk up the path and you get hit between the eyes with this sight. Rakvere Castle. But I want to go over and see the aurochs. He's over there on his own. He's been standing 20 years, grazing peacefully, or maybe not. Perhaps he's been a wild raging bull, raging in Rakvere. And I don't know. Something else, again, of course, one of the many things I don't know. Why a bull should be the symbol of Rakvere. Or an aurochs, I should say. I want to say bull, but aurochs. Whether somebody had just been reading about aurochs or aurochses, aurochsi, whatever the plural is, from the Song and Ice and Fire, George R.R. Martin, before the television series. They started reading the books, Game of Thrones. Oh, interesting. Mention aurochs. What's an aurochs? And then they decided from that, that would make a very good statue to celebrate the landmark 700th birthday of the founding of Rakvere. Nice side view of the castle. And there's no mistaking, I'm definitely on the right path. The legitimate path. I was thinking about potentially climbing an embankment if necessary. Well, common sense prevailed. One of those rare occasions when I can say common sense prevailed, and I stopped myself from doing something silly, like trying to climb up this embankment. Well, obviously there's a bit of a footpath going down there, so plenty of people do use this embankment, but yeah, I'm glad I've taken this path instead. Rakvere, coat of arms, a crown over a 6-pronged star. And just look at those horns. Blimey. He means business, doesn't he? And if only this sun could go behind a cloud. Where are the clouds when you need them? Definitely think it's time for a selfie, don't you? Blinded by the sun, but can still try and squint, looking at Rakvere's famous aurochs.